Thank you all for being here. We're so excited to have you. It's so good to see some faces. As Tony mentioned earlier, we'd love to see some more faces if that's possible for you. I'm Tifam. I go by she, they pronouns. I'm over here in Oakland, California. I am a relationship coach and energy medicine practitioner. Tony asked me if I was interested in co-facilitating this event with him, and immediately it was a full body yes. He is my spiritual brother, and if you noticed our last names, he's also my blood brother. So that's super fun. This is our first event together. So thank you all for being in community with us, witnessing. I love the thumbs up. Thank you. Um, yeah, so grief is such a big topic, right? I love that Reimagine is an entire platform to hold grief in various ways. So you all know best. Many of you have been to many of the Reimagine events already. For me, as I hold space for my clients, I have seen that grief shows up in many ways, especially in the queer community. You know, I recently had a client, for example, who lost her father, and she literally was like, I don't know how to feel because we didn't have a relationship. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You can feel however you want, you can be sad, you can be happy, you can be excited. So I wanted to be here to hold space with my brother, hold space with all of you, and give you all permission to feel whatever is present. There is no right or wrong way to feel grief. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me for my first event. Butterfly, I'll kick it over to you.
Hi, thank you for that. Yeah, so legal name is Tony Pham. In these types of community spaces, I go by Butterfly. Just a little background on me is I'm very thankful to have a long-standing relationship with Reimagine as a peer grief counselor and facilitator. In addition, I teach meditation and compassion classes at Tibet House in New York, the cultural center of the Dalai Lama. And that is offered both in person and online. So, uh, always happy to connect with people in various contexts. And for me, what was really arising as I thought about this topic of losing father figures is how, especially as queer people, it's not necessarily just biological. And something that's very present for me is how we have lost a whole generation of particularly gay men during the AIDS epidemic and crisis. So just for some context, as many of us already know, is that between 1981 and 1990, the CDC reports that over 100,000 people died of AIDS. And it was deeply stigmatized at the time. Um, President Ronald Reagan didn't even acknowledge that it was happening or existing until 1985. And in the face of abandonment, the queer community, as it's done throughout history, took care of each other. And so this legacy of communal grief and resilience is, for me, part of Pride today. And I think that it's important to mourn that and to honor that as a very real aspect of our larger family. And I also wanted to share some community agreements to help us lay the foundation for a safer and a braver container together. And these are the Reimagine agreements, and you may have seen them on the event page, but some things to just go through are confidentiality, what's said here stays here. Everything is invitational. We're gonna offer different practices or tools or questions. You get to decide if you want to engage. If you want to listen, that's okay too. We're going to invite you to speak from the heart. This isn't school. This isn't work. Nobody's grading you. Invitations just be authentic and honest. And similarly, to listen from the heart, to see if we can get out of this habit that many of us have gained from school of trying to judge and compare, and just allow space that every individual's experience is true for them. There's no one right way, as my sister said. Grieving can be crying, it can be anger, it can be numbness, it can be laughing, it can be many things. If you find yourself feeling quiet and silent, trust that. And we're going to endeavor to trust that in terms of the larger collective space too. Just want to invite everyone to be mindful about, at the same time you share, also wanting to create space for other folks to speak as well. To center your own experience when speaking, to not try to represent any broad group, even though all of us may identify as queer. That doesn't mean we necessarily have the same experiences. And this is about witnessing, seeing and being seen. There's no need to rescue anyone, fix anyone, save anyone. Let's just all trust our own process and each other's processes. And can I invite us to just do either a literal or emoji thumbs up if that sounds good to everyone, if we're agreeing to that? Thank you. Appreciate it. And I'll pass it back to Tiff.
Thank you, Natalie. I wasn't able to unmute myself. So everyone, before we jump in, I'm going to share briefly what our agenda is for this evening. I just wanted to take a moment to ground further into tonight's theme. As Tony mentioned, we're here grieving the loss of our father figures on our journey to pride. So I want to hear from you all from the chat. Natalie, if we can make sure that's open. What feeling or word jumps to the surface when you think of grieving a father figure during Pride? There's no right or wrong answer, just the first word or feeling that shows up for you. And remember, this could be a biological father, stepfather, uncle, maybe, mentor, teacher, elder. Yeah, wishing he could be here. Confusing with my biological dad. Sad, loss, disappointment. Honor and trauma. I love that duality. Sadness, a lot of ache, frustrating. Sadness when true father figures were lost. Yeah. Deep grief. Thank you all for sharing that. Missed experiences. Absolutely. So many missed memories, missed experiences. Okay, feel free to allow those to continue to come in. A brief just agenda for tonight, just so we can all orient and ground in what we're doing. Tony and I, Butterfly and I, will be offering 3 different ways for us to tend to our grief. So that way we can see what resonates for us. Maybe it's one, maybe it's all, maybe it's some. Just a friendly reminder that grieving doesn't have to be linear. And there might be layers. As we all know, grieving can take years. You know, sometimes it gets better, sometimes it shifts. So we'll start with a compassion meditation with Butterfly, centering in the body, mind, and heart, where we'll turn towards whatever is here, that sadness, that frustration. And then we'll do a brief somatic exercise with myself that I'll guide you all through. And then we'll do some breakout rooms for some community connection. So that's the high level of what we're doing tonight. I'm excited. I hope you all are as well. So If we are all ready, we can prepare and get comfortable as Butterfly leads us through a meditation.
Yeah, done a lot of talking. So now we're going to transition to just connecting to yourself. The invitation is to have your eyes open with a soft downward gaze, or to close them, whatever feels more supportive to you. I'm gonna ring the bell 3 times for us to open and 3 times to bring us back. And if you've never meditated before, it's okay. There's no right or wrong way. It's all practice. And anything that's offered is meant to be supportive. And if it's not working for you, feel free to drop it. In case you couldn't hear with the third bell, let's just settle into our breath. Invitation is to notice where the breath is most accessible, maybe at your nostrils, maybe in your chest, maybe in your belly. There's no right or wrong. All we're doing is checking in, observing. For any reason the breath isn't available or accessible to you in this moment, you're welcome to work with another sensation, like the feeling of clothing touching your skin. If you are working with breath, the invitation is to get more intimate with it. What is the temperature? Is it hot or cool? What is the speed? Is it fast or slow? Does the breath feel shallow or deep? Again, there's nothing to change or fix or manage. We're just getting curious, just noticing. Inviting you to feel where your feet, your seats meet a surface, perhaps the floor. Inviting you to allow the weight of your body to be held. Even if you're a couple floors up, ultimately, you're held by the foundation of the building, which in turn rests on the land, Mother Earth. So generously provides us with abundance and beauty and nourishment and solidity, whether we ask for it. It's inviting you to breathe in and feel that support if it's available to you. And breathe out and allow yourself to soften and expand, knowing that the earth is holding you. I want to name that here where I am in New York, it's the unceded land of the Carnasri Munsee Lenape people. Like all people, they're not perfect. And still, part of the culture was to be in right relationship with nature. So wherever you're located, if you find it available and supportive, perhaps also opening and feeling that Indigenous peoples who came before us made choices that allow us to be where we are today. And inhaling and exhaling. So we've talked about Mother Earth as a source of support. Stewards of the land as a source of support. And on Pride, I also want to welcome in our ancestors and our transcestors from the queer community. As you continue to inhale and exhale, bringing your awareness to your chest, the home of the heart. Perhaps seeing what's there. Sadness, joy, anger, peace. It's all welcome here. Invitation is just to feel into how we choose, how we all benefit and how we choose to contribute to being part of this beautiful rainbow lineage. How queer people have always been a part of the story of humans. And naming how for this session, our intention is to focus on how, for many of us, whether through death or just the loss of relationship, we're giving ourselves and each other permission to grieve the loss of father figures as part of our queer journeys. And we're doing so in community. Breathing in and breathing out. And with the third ring of the bell, I want to invite you to slowly, gently flutter open your eyes if they've been closed. Bring some movement into your body, like rolling your neck or shoulders, stretching out the arms, wiggling the fingers and toes. Taking some more active breaths to the body as we return to each other and continue. I will pass it to Tiff.
Thank you so much, brother. That was so amazing. If we could open up the chat, I'd love to hear how that was for you all. How are you feeling right in this moment? What was brought up for you? Centered, grounded. Yeah. Mm. Images of my dad when I was young, soothing. It was great to focus on the breath and set intention. Mm. Beautiful. Yes, I am also feeling so much more centered and grounded. I also wanted to name that I was also feeling some like yeah, grief, sadness in my heart center and my throat. Noticed some tears, release. Yeah, thinking about how many queer people can have complicated relationships with fathers. So many, so many of us. And that's why we're here together. Beautiful. Thank you all for sharing. We're going to shift into a brief little somatic movement um, to move through what showed up. We named that there was a lot of good stuff. We're feeling centered, we're feeling grounded. We also identified some layers of grief earlier, like sadness and frustration. So let's gently take some gentle pats on our body to just feel more present into our more present and more centered. Imagine taking all that centeredness, taking all that groundedness, all that love and compassion that we just cultivated within ourselves, patting it around our legs, thighs, lower back needs a lot of love. I don't know about you. And go ahead and increase that a little faster. Not too fast, but just with intention. Definitely in the temples. We're not getting rid of anything. We're just saying, hey, body, I love you. Thank you so much for carrying me every single day. Thank you so much for letting me be here in this moment. And if you're open to it, go ahead and check with your body and ask, hey, body, is there anywhere where grief is present? Maybe it's in the heart, maybe it's in the gut, maybe it's in the chest. Whatever comes up from your body, go ahead and take your hands and put it over that place. If nothing comes up, just go ahead and place your hand somewhere that your body needs love. And we're just here witnessing, sending that compassion that we just cultivated to that part of our body where there might be some grief. Again, not wishing it to go away, but just saying, hey, I see you. And if it feels authentic to you, saying, hey, grief, thank you. Hey, grief, you're valid. Take a deep breath in with me and a deep exhale. Go ahead and tap that part again to some gentle strokes. Love, compassion, witnessing, presence. And then go ahead and give yourself a big hug. Thank you, body. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, mind. Thank you, father figures. Thank you, memories. And anything that you want to release, let go. Thank you all for being with me in that brief somatic exercise. Just curious if anything showed up in your body. Did you notice where grief was? Did your body respond to you? I'd love to know in the chat. Lungs. Yeah. Sinuses, oddly enough. It's so interesting when we just ask our bodies, hey, can you just show me something? Our minds sometimes want to show us something else, and our bodies point us other places. Grief is in a lot of places. Stomach, chest, behind my eyes. Yeah, I feel that too. Temples, right there. So in the interest of time, I invite you, if that was resonant for you, to practice on your own. Now that you have, your body has shared some of these places with you, send some of that love in your own time with your body with some gentle taps, if it was resonant. We're going to transition into the community aspect of this evening. Being in community. I know a lot of you mentioned that that's exactly why you wanted to be here, to be in connection with one another. So we're Natalie's going to help us get into some breakout rooms. The Zoom goddesses will help her randomly place you in these rooms. And well, feel free to decide amongst yourselves who wants to go first. We'll share some prompts with you that can help facilitate some discussions. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat right now. So one of the prompt options is what came up for you doing either the meditation or somatic exercise. Another prompt is what flavor of grief did you walk in with versus what's here now? And is there any judgment around whether that shifted or not? Was there any attachment that something was supposed to move? And a third prompt is what father figures have you lost on your journey? What do you choose to mourn and what do you choose to honor? So we'll get those rooms ready for you. And feel free to copy and paste those in case they don't travel with you. And Natalie will.
Welcome back, everyone. I know these sessions can perhaps go on longer than we have time for, but we hope that you had some moments to connect and share, witness. We have a little bit of space now to, within this larger collective, uh, choose to highlight, name what came up for you in the group experience. And again, there's no pressure, no expectation, and it can be really beneficial to you and everyone to speak your voice. It can help to just affirm and validate that sense that we're all in this together as community. So if you like, feel free to just uh, raise your hand like this or raise your hand using the icon, and then Natalie can invite you to unmute and we welcome your sharing if you're moved to.
We also welcome you to share in the chat if that feels more comfortable.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First, I want to thank you guys for having this session. So something I shared in our breakout room was how during the somatic exercise, I remembered this part of my body that I've been keeping the pain in for 2 years now. to the point where I had an MRI, and like they didn't find anything, and like it was, this like muscular pain. And afterwards I realized like, oh, well, this started when my dad got sick. This started, I mean, it was from an acute injury, but then it was kind of like held on. And this started, kind of progressing as I took over his life and did all the medical stuff and the financial stuff. And then it got worse after he passed, and it got, like I'm like, oh, visiting the grave like flares this up. Like I started realizing, wait, this is maybe not necessarily, fully physical, acute thing. So I just kind of wanted to share with the room that, in that kind of exercise and feeling where you hold things in your body to really, because, I've been doing lots of inner work this year since he passed in August, and I've now not had pain there for a month. But it actually, like when you asked the question in the somatic of like, where are you holding the grief? I was like, oh no, I know exactly. Like I felt a little bit there of like, I know where I'm holding it, right? Because I've held it there for these years. And so I just wanted to share that to encourage others if they are, experiencing something similar to, get into the healing work and the breath work and the giving yourself permission to let go and let go of that pain and that muscle and all that kind of stuff. And because, you might be holding something that you think is something else, but you're actually holding, the emotional experiences of your life.
Hmm. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is it Andres?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. I don't know if you saw, you got some hearts, you said there's some thumbs up out there. So it sounds like what you were sharing was definitely resonating. That's exactly right. Feelings, emotions that aren't felt, that aren't expressed can cause physical pain. And it sounds like you notice in your root chakra and it's layers. You've been doing the work, but here's another layer that we're uncovering. So I'm so glad that you named that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, all of you, for being here as we're winding down on time. Um, Butterfly, would you like to help us close out the container?
Yeah, I will do so. Just one final moment. If anyone has anything burning that they're like, oh, wait, I really do want to share this. This is your time.
Time to shine.
You can always just type in the chat too. So as we close out, I'm going to offer a dedication of the merit of the goodwill of us just choosing to show up for ourselves and each other. And then the very end will be just an opportunity to give feedback. But before that, just want to invite you, if you choose, you can place your hands on your heart, you can place them together, you can not do that, whatever is comfortable for you, just kind of turning inward. May whatever goodwill and merit that has arisen as a result of the choice that we each made and we collectively made to honor pride with grief, be a benefit to all those that we come across and all those that they come across. May our ancestors and transcestors rest easier, and may the joy that they felt and that we feel ripple backwards and forwards in time. May this sorrow be shared so that we can be tender with our hearts. May we take pride in how part of the journey sometimes often means letting go. And that can be hard. And it also shows us our commitment to authenticity, which is a gift to ourselves and to the world. May it be so.
May it be so.
Thank you, everyone. And I just want to again thank Natalie from Tibet House for being our behind the scenes tech support. So grateful to allow Tiff and I to be more present with you all in turn. And then want to invite in Andy, who's here from Reimagine, to quickly close us out.
Thank you, Butterfly. Thank you, Tiff. Can we show some love for this brother-sister pair here for creating this beautiful, safe, and loving container for all of us today? Thank you for sticking around. I've pasted in the chat this link to a survey. We would love to hear from you. We want to know what worked well in this whole process, what you might suggest for other types of Reimagine events. So please take the time to fill out the survey. We'd love to hear from you. And also thank you to Tibet House for co-hosting this event with us. Again, thank you, Natalie, for helping out in behind the scenes. And I hope to see all of you at other Reimagine events that are coming up. I'm just going to put a few links in the chat here. There's one link here to learn more about Tibet House, a link to learn about Reimagine, a link to learn more about Butterfly, a link to learn more about TIFF. And we hope to see you soon at other Reimagine gatherings. Happy Pride, everyone, and hope to see you soon.
All right,
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Andrew. And thank you so much, everyone. It was a beautiful meeting tonight.
Take care, everybody.